Well, hello out there, everybody. Welcome back. This is revision 8, I believe, for the Starship. This is DrBossKey Starship, and we're working on some art for the DBK shoot 'em up, or the SHMUP, if you will. And Dimitri, thank you for turning around these color versions. We just got done going through and kind of looking at those. So let me show you guys this out there as well. So we did a remix of colors from our last version, playing with some of the highlights and what that looked like. So pushing a little bit more of this gray into that spectrum, more into the white. Kind of we did a version of the sort of darker metal. I think it's more like the gunmetal over on the last one you'll see here. Trim tops at the top for the red. I think color-wise, I think having this kind of red on the ship doesn't quite work for me, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, so there's a version of kind of the inner area with red and kind of the lower part of the cabin, which I like. I really enjoy the shapes that have come together around this, and I think we're really, really close. So, and then here's a version that we did with the darker kind of almost metal blue. Rods and cones. Rods and cones. All right. So with that, I decided to get out my crayons. And I decided to color a version. So forgive my terrible coloring parts. You can see the bad trim here, but in general, here is kind of something I started fiddling with and want to arrive towards. So adjusting the red at the top, I wanted to move away from the red there. What I really want is subconsciously, I want people to understand that, and who knows, right? But I want people to understand that this is the most dangerous spot, this area here in the cockpit, if you will. So this is the only place that the ship can take damage from enemy bullets. And I kind of like these sort of the innards showing here. Whatever this thing is, mechanically speaking, it helps the Starship do some cool stuff. And then I like seeing that kind of carried through to the underspots here and up towards the engine. So it all feels like it's an underlying special kind of metal maybe that allows for the Starship to be powered the way it is. I think the grays were a little too neutral for me. I wanted to try a little bit more of a hard, like a baby white. I think is baby powder. White is the sort of this is the DrBossKey marketing palette. So I just kind of went back and grabbed that. So I wanted to do a version of that. I want to keep the gold trim here, which I really enjoy, and I'm hoping that these things will rotate, and this thing will counter rotate, of course. So we'll see how far we can get with that. It depends on whether or not it depends on the way we do our frame animations versus rotation animations for when you move the ship vertically speaking. So you have banking for the ship. And then carried through some of that little gold trim often to the engine vents here and the tail here itself. Not sure yet about the turbine here with the gold. It may turn out that I turn this gold trim wise, and we might be able to keep it this way, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll go more towards the darker gray. So, and then here I also I took just the cockpit windows, if you will, and then I added some transparency to them. So about I think that we're at about 60%. 60% opacity there. And I think those were the main things. So why don't we take a look at what this look like in game. So, all right, cool. So here we are. Forgive all my my power ups, but yeah. So I think the thing is that we're in these darker backgrounds, right? So I feel like that darker gunmetal blue is starting to get just kind of lost. The whites are there, so that was the first version. I think in brighter environments might be all right, but that's kind of how it came together. And then I was just about to flip over and do this other version, so hang on, bear with me. Let's crop this bad boy out. Hello, cropping machine. Let's flatten this thing. Merge those layers. If I flatten, I'll lose the transparency. We'll merge them. And then we want to scale this down, and I want to use the bicubic sharper, best for reduction. It seems to keep the lines in an more uniform look, as opposed to worrying as much about the colors. We know that the ship texture for game is 256 in the horizontal. We can leave the height there. I think it's actually 180 on the actual sprite sheet right now, or the sprite, but that's fine. And then we'll plop that guy down there. I'm gonna copy this over to the actual in-game texture that we have. Come on, we can do it. I can do it. Oh, I'm gonna try that. All right, one more. I think I was in the crop. All right, switch this. Oh, I had to switch to the pointer tool. Hello, hello. What is the problem here? All right, so flipping over here. Select everything. Up to that. Maybe layer's not selected. There we go. There we go. We'll align this to the other one. There we go. Turn off that back layer. And then, this is 256 by 180. We're gonna save this here. Get some versions. We'll just do over the main proto-ship 01. We have a backup copy just in case. Using super PNG, which is really nice. Clean that transparency layer. And then let's take a look at the new colors. Yeah, okay. This is the first time I've seen this in engine as well. Let me get my controller. Yeah, okay. So I can that lighter gray is definitely better. By the way, take a look at the cockpit. Let's see the cockpit. You can see the transparency on it. So you can see right here. Let's see. Come on, where is the mouse? Oh, that's hiding my mouse pointer, I think. Yeah, but you can see it when the cockpit goes over like the background. So anyways, yeah, so I think that's my stab at a color scheme. I got to do some color by numbers today. It was super fun. I think that's about it. Yeah, so Dimitri, let me make sure I put this back so I have all my previous steps. There we go. I think those were the main pieces of feedback. I'm definitely curious to see what you think. Let's do another round of coloration. And then if you will, let's carry through the transparency on the windows, of course. And so I don't have to retech art that stuff. And then, clean up my colors. And then, if you want to make a couple other suggestions, now that you've actually seen it in game as well, feel free in this next revision. Otherwise, I think we're pretty much there and we can start to work on the animation bits, which I'm excited about. Ooh, excited. And just as a reminder there on the animation bits. So here's kind of what I'm thinking, Dimitri. So this thing, we probably in our sprite sheet, because it's a hero asset, we can probably do eight panels, right? So we can do like so it's 256. So that's 512, 1024. So we could do a 1024 by 1024 sheet if we really wanted to. So, but that gives us about 8 panels to do animations in between. So with that being said, and I need to find out whether or not I can actually do the banking animation plus regular frame animations. I bet you I can't, so we're probably going to do regular frame animations as opposed to banking animations. So what that means, and for the people following along, banking animations just means when I push up on the stick or down on the stick, that the ship then banks both ways. So, and what we do is we draw the frames, and this is the neutral frame, and then we just flip to those based on input. So, which is fun because it feels, responsive, which is great. But I think I also have this, I don't think in the engine I can do banking and I can do frame animations in between. Maybe I can, I don't know. We could be tricky on that, but I gotta talk to the main SHMUP creator engine guy about that. So, but here's what I'm thinking is if we don't do the banking, then I want to make sure that we have this rotor rotating, and then this inner rotator rotating, so counterclockwise in that case, right? And we might rotate this whole inner sprocket, or we might left counterclockwise rotation for the the hooks, clockwise rotation for the inner ring, and then counterclockwise rotation for this the sprocket, right? This will then also animate, so we'll see how maybe it's 2 or 3 frames, but just to give it the sense of turning around the circle. I probably should recolor that too, now that I think about that. Dimitri. So yeah, just so so yeah, Dimitri, I was thinking that this should be the same. This should be the same color as that as well. So because it's one extra gray, but you've got that. So anyways, but the turbine will be spinning, right? That'll be cool. And then I think that what we need is we probably are going to need like I want the ship feels kind of like it's been well used. You know, it's been through battles, it's been like repaired, right? And it's not 100% silky smooth all the time anymore. So I think we can get this situation where like, you know, we can get a little bit of rattle, maybe just a tiny little bump. I don't know. I don't want to go too crazy, but just a tiny bit of motion on the front cannon here, right? I think at least for that, because it's cinched together. Oh, by the way, this also another little turbine that'll be rotating, and I think, and then the outer nodules. Let's see if we can. We'll do essentially frame animations as well. So the whole thing there and that will be cool. And I'll probably put a little like I don't think I can put particles on top of the engine on top of the ship right now, but. We'll have particles in the back, of course. We can probably get a little wave of some particles underneath for a little lift. Definitely some particles here. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm thinking. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you, everyone that has been sending your questions and asking and having comments and feedback. I definitely appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun working on this little prototype project, and we'll see you next time.